Whole species could look at predators, the kind your ancestors ran from, and say, "No, stay. Live with us. Sleep in our homes. Calm our children." I've always been fascinated by that human instinct to sit next to danger and try to make friends with it instead of pushing it away forever. Because for a prey mind, teeth are not cute. They're math, distance, speed, bite force, how long it would take to reach you. Your body does those calculations whether you agree or not. And yet there's this other idea, almost offensive to your instincts, that safety might include sharp claws and powerful jaws, as long as they're honest, trained, and resting. So tonight, instead of thinking about your own day, I want you to wander with me into a place built to avoid all of that. A quiet orbital college where nothing has corners, doors never slam, and most students have only seen predators in old lesson clips. Get comfortable in whatever way works for you, because in that station above a silent gas giant, a first-year student from a gentle prey species is about to sit in a soft classroom. Watch the doors slide open and see humans walk in carrying a dog, a snake, and a cat. The first sound you notice is the air. It moves in a slow, soft way through the halls of Meridian Collegium, like a long, quiet breath that never ends. Lights change with the smallest shift in mode. Floors stay warm, but never too warm. Doors open with care, not with a sharp rush. The whole station feels like it was built by nervous hands that wanted everything gentle and safe. Most students here have never seen sharp teeth up close. They have seen pictures, yes. Lessons about ancient predators on their worlds. Lists of animals that chased, bit, or swallowed. But those belong to the past for them, like old storms on calm seas. Their cities now are bright and smooth. Their skies are clear. Their lives are planned so nothing dangerous comes near, except humans bring danger with them, not as attack or threat, but as memory. The station circles a quiet giant of gas, and the class is about to begin. From the outside, Meridian Collegium looks almost asleep. It hangs above the gas giant like a silver seed, half in shadow, half in soft light from the pale star beyond. Thin rings of metal and glass turn slowly, keeping gravity gentle and steady. Long windows hold back the swirl of the planet's storm belts, so students can watch color without feeling any wind. Inside, everything is made for comfort. The halls curve instead of turning sharp. The ceiling never feels too low or too high. The air smells faintly of clean water and warm stone, though every wing can change scent for different species, if needed. As stories, as living animals on leashes and in arms. This is a film about that. About a quiet first-year student from a prey species who has always trusted walls and distance, not muscles and teeth. About a single day in a soft classroom when doors open and humans walk in with a dog, a snake, and a cat. About fear that fills the room like sudden cold and then changes slowly into something warmer. This is a story about how it feels when a predator does not bite, when eyes that can track you choose instead to look away and rest. It is about trust that grows in a shaking body, and about the strange human idea that safety can include danger, as long as danger is honest and calm. Some walkways stay dim for eyes that hurt in bright light. Others shine a little more for students who see color in different ranges. There are small restrooms almost everywhere, with sound shields and soft surfaces, for those who feel overwhelmed. The Collegium stands for peace, and it shows. Most species here come from calm worlds now. Their histories remember fear, but their children do not feel it each day. Long ago, they say, they ran from teeth in the dark, from wings that dropped out of the sky, from jaws that broke bone, but then came tools, language, plans, and slow changes to land and seas. Predators faded from daily paths. They became images in quiet museums and careful lessons. Your people are part of that story. Your body still carries old prey signs. Your eyes sit wide on the sides of your head, giving you a broad, near-complete view of what moves around you. Your ears lift and turn easily, catching tiny shifts in tone or step, even across a noisy hall. Your heart is quick to jump. Your leg tendons can tense fast, ready to launch you sideways or down, or behind the nearest solid thing. You have always known this was logical. On your homeworld, long before ships and stations, you survived by seeing danger first. Sharp teeth in the grass, a shadow sliding above, a rustle that was not the wind. Those who reacted fastest lived. Those who waited to be sure did not. Fear was not a flaw. Fear was a tool. But that was ages ago. Now your cities are tall and careful. Wild predators stay far from where your families live. You have never smelled a living hunter's breath. You have never heard a real growl in the same room as you. You came to Meridian to leave that behind. You came because you wanted quiet, thoughtful minds across the stars. The Collegium called itself a place for cooperative civilizations. No wars, no raids, no battles. Just different species showing ways they build trust. You liked that. You wanted to learn how others turned fear into culture, rules, and care. Humans were the most confusing piece in your early studies. Humans always seemed to stand in two worlds at once. Their files showed huge cities, calm parks, kindness, art, careful laws. They also showed oceans filled with sharks, savannas with lions, mountains with bears, and not all were gone. Some still walked side by side with humans. They did not just remove predators. They lived next to them. Sometimes with them, your instructors showed you short, bright videos. A human with their arm around a large dog's neck, teeth shining in a happy open mouth. A human with a long snake on their shoulders, smooth scales sliding over skin. A small cat kneading soft paws on a human chest, claws very close to thin clothing. You watched those clips alone many times. Your hands would tighten, your throat would close. The fear did not come because you thought the human would be hurt. The clips never showed pain. They showed stillness and trust. That was the part that hurt your mind. You could not match it with your body's deep rules. Predator teeth near soft parts means run or freeze, but never relax. But never relax. In your sleep, your ancestors still bolted through dry grass and leaped across river stones. Your body did not care that the date now read centuries later. The Collegium's human culture track caught your interest anyway. Humans, they said, were experts at social groups, at living with many kinds of minds. Their history was messy, but full of long arcs toward larger circles of care. They believed in training, in practice, in trying again after mistakes. They also had deep, strange relationships with animals, especially those that had once chased or bitten them. So when you saw the seminar listing for companion animals in cooperative societies, you signed up. The description sounded safe enough. A small class, shared between species, where students would bring or meet animals that lived with intelligent beings. The plan, Dr. Stone, Beings Vel had told you, was to show how affection and routine could shape social bonds, even when language was simple or missing. You pictured soft, harmless creatures, slow grazers, feathered nest sharers, maybe the gentle water animals the Serathi kept in their domes with their cool skin and slow, waving fins. Animals that would not even notice if you pressed close to them. Animals that ate fruits or moss and had flat grinding teeth. The day arrives calm. You wake in your small room on the outer ring, watching the gas giant turn far below. The light dials itself to your usual level. Your floor adjusts density for the way you walk. Your muscles feel a little tight from a dream you cannot fully remember. There were shapes in grass. Maybe running feet, but the dream slips away. You dress, steady your breathing. The closer you get to the learning wing, the more you notice small signs of change. A faint new smell in the air. Something earthy, warm, and a little sharp, like sun on stone after rain. You pass a group of human students near the junction. They talk in low voices. Beside them walks a shape that makes your chest jump. It is a dog. Later you will learn named Atlas. For now you only register form. Forward-facing eyes, heavy jaw, strong shoulders, thick legs. A band of material wraps around his chest, clipping to a line held by a human hand. He moves with an easy, relaxed stride, eyes soft, tongue hanging out in a way that shows too many teeth. You stop without meaning to. Your legs simply freeze. Your mind tries to push you onward, but your body refuses. A full, bright alertness floods your chest. Heart rate up, breath shallow. Your field of view sharpens around the dog, cutting out the rest of the hall. Every movement of his muscles stands out. The human holding the line glances at you. They notice the way your upper limbs sit tight against your sides. They say something in their own language to Atlas, a short, even word. Atlas slows. He does not look straight at you. He shifts his gaze slightly aside, head turning a little down. To your prey-wired mind, that is a strange mercy. A hunter not staring at you feels less like a threat. You manage to move again. You pass the group with a wide curve. body keeping as much distance as space allows. You do not think the humans mean, you harm. You know that in the clear part of your thoughts, but the rest of you is not sure. That part measures the length of the dog's stride, the thickness of his neck, the time it would take those teeth to close over your arm. The classroom is gentle. As always, the walls are smooth and pale. The light holds at a soft level that shows color without sharp glare. Floors are firm, but with a slight give, so hard steps do not jar delicate joints. Seating comes in many shapes. You choose the low, nest-like pad near the back, where you can sit with knees tight and back protected. Other students arrive. A tall, many-limbed Serathi glides in with a small floating globe of water, where a tiny, soft-bodied swimmer moves in slow arcs. A pair of Keth with bright feather crests bring a cushioned carrier, holding a little round herbivore with short legs and curious dark eyes. It nibbles calmly on a handful of dried green stems. These animals look safe. Their bodies say prey or pure grazer. Their eyes sit to the sides. Their teeth are flat, their jaws made for grinding. Some have no visible teeth at all. The room hums with low, easy talk as students settle and introduce their companions. Your heart begins to match their calm. You can imagine touching that small herbivore's fur, feeling only warmth and breath. Then the humans arrive. The air seems to tighten around your neck for a moment. 3 humans walk in together, each with a different animal. The first holds Atlas line. D for different animal. He enters with his head level. His tail moves in a slow side-to-side sway. His eyes scan the room in brief glances. You see the power in his chest and shoulders. You see the thickness of his paws and legs. Your stomach twists. The second human carries a clear habitat box. Inside lies a long coiled snake, patterned in dark and light bands. Its tongue flicks, tasting air. Muscles under smooth scales shift as it adjusts its body. There is no sound, but you can almost hear it in your mind. That slow, soundless glide. Your inner alarm flares. Long, flexible body, hidden strength, jaw that can open wide. The third human walks with a cat on a harness. The cat moves like a small piece of slow liquid. Tail curls, then flicks. Ears swivel as if they taste the air. Its eyes are bright, round, and forward-facing, pupils shifting slightly. As it looks around, its small mouth hides sharp needles of teeth. Claws rest inside soft paws, but you know they are there. Your body reacts before your thoughts can form. Your muscles tense. Your heart slams harder. A thin layer of heat spreads along your skin. The room that moments ago felt wide and safe starts to feel close. Exit paths map themselves in your mind. Distance from each predator marks itself without effort. Around you, many other prey-wired students change posture. Feathers tuck tight along Keth necks. A low, tremoring sound begins somewhere in the room. Not a growl, but a held breath shared by many chests. Even those who try to smile or raise their hands in greeting show small, fast twitches of fear. Dr. Vel, the instructor, stands near the front. Their body holds very still for a long moment. They scan the room, take in the set jaws, the locked knees, the way eyes refuse to leave the dog, the snake, the cat. They say a few calm words, voice smooth, explaining that everything is controlled and safe, that the animals are trained, that the humans know how to handle them. Your mind hears the words, your body does not. It remembers ancient nights with teeth in the dark, even if you never lived them. It remembers branches breaking behind you, claws on stone, the sharp breath before a pounce. It remembers, and it prepares. You do not know yet that today, something new will also begin, something that will not erase that fear, but will sit beside it. Something that will show that teeth can mean safety too, and that a predator can help your heart slow down instead of speed up. For now, all you know is this: there are predators in the room, and every part of you is awake. The room holds its breath. Atlas stands just inside the door. His human beside him, the snake rests in its clear box on a padded surface, coiled like a living question mark. The cat circles once at the end of its short line, then settles on the floor, tail wrapped around small paws. To the humans, this is calm. To your prey-wired body, it is too much. Every forward-facing eye feels like a line of pressure. You can feel where each jaw could close, how far each body could spring. You do not decide to map this out. Your nervous system does it for you. It begins the fast, quiet math of threat and distance, practiced over millions of years. Dr. Vel starts to speak. They introduce the class, remind everyone about respect and consent, about asking before approaching any animal, about moving slowly. Their voice is steady. You want to match that steadiness. You press your limbs tighter against your sides and make yourself breathe all the way down to your middle. It almost works. The human with Atlas gives a short signal. Atlas lies down, folding thick legs under his body. He rests his head on his front paws. His jaw relaxes. His mouth closes over his teeth. His eyes soften. Lids a little lower. If you could forget what he could do, you might think he looks kind. The snake's human shows how the habitat box has safe spaces and stable heat. They place a light cloth partly over one end, making a shadowed corner. The snake moves toward that darker part, coils tighter, settles in stillness. Only the small, forked tongue slips out now and then, quick and delicate. The cat's human lowers themselves to the floor. The cat walks a small circle around them, then climbs into their lap without being told. It kneads softly, paws pressing against fabric, but the claws do not come out. The cat folds itself into a compact shape and begins to purr, chest humming gently. The sound carries through the room like a low vibration. Some students relax at the sound without quite knowing why. Others tighten because any unfamiliar vibration near a predator feels risky. Your own body feels confused. Part of you wants to lean closer to hear it better, Another part wants you to leave. Dr. Cygnus. Vel opens the floor for simple questions. A Serathi student asks about how often humans feed their companions. A Keth student asks if the animals ever live outside. The human students answer with calm voices, smiling a little, speaking about routines, about walks, about vet visits, about long friendships. Your mind begins to catch small details. Words like training, signals, reward, trust. The humans talk about learning to read their animals' moods from tiny shifts in ear angle, tail height, or breathing speed. They talk about never forcing touch, about letting the animal come to them. It sounds more like a partnership than ownership. Your heart rate starts to lower. Just a bit, then something unexpected happens. A maintenance unit in the wall, badly timed, chooses this moment to reset a stuck panel. With no warning, a section of the surface snaps back into place with a sharp, banging crack. The sound hits your nervous system like a shock. For your kind, sudden loud noise means impact, break, or attack. Before you can think, your body reacts. You jolt upright from your seat. Your legs push you halfway to the side. Exit. Your throat makes a sharp, high sound you have not let out since childhood. You are not alone. Across the room, several other prey-wired students launch into motion. A cluster of Keth leap to their feet, feathers splaying wide in a flash of color. A Serathi knocks a low stool sideways. Someone's small herbivore darts under the nearest piece of furniture, tiny heart racing so hard you can almost see. Its sides blur. The room's safety systems notice. Soft chimes begin to sound gentle, but rapid. Overhead, vents adjust to shift airflow toward a calming blend for most species present. The lights dim a little, trying to reduce visual load. Door frames brighten just enough to mark exits clearly. This is all meant to help. To a panicking prey brain, bright exit paths look like proof that there is something to escape. Your vision narrows. Your hands tingle. You feel space shrinking in around you. The press of bodies, the sense of predators in too close reach. Your thoughts fragment into short, sharp pieces. Teeth, muscles, jaws. Move. You turn toward the nearest door. But your legs do not quite follow. Some deep part of you knows that sudden running near predators can trigger chase, so you end up half crouched beside your seat, every muscle ready to bolt, but held in place by tangled impulses. In this rising storm of small panics, the animal's behavior begins to stand out. Atlas does not leap up. The loud noise hits his ears too. His head lifts. His ears twitch toward the sound. For a moment, his whole body stiffens. Then his human reacts faster than your mind can follow. They speak a firm, quiet cue. A short touch of fingers lands on Atlas' shoulder. Steady and sure, Atlas lowers his head. Again, he shifts from a stand-ready position into a long, slow exhale. His front legs stretch forward. His chest sinks. He presses his chin to the floor. His eyes move away from the rushing feet and flared feathers turning slightly aside. He forces himself with clear training into a position your kind uses for rest. For a prey mind, this is strange. Every cell in you screams that loud sound, plus predators should mean claws, bites, and motion. But the largest predator in the room has just chosen to make himself smaller, closer to the ground, less able to sprint. Your fear gets confused. It trips over the mismatch between what it expects and what your eyes see. The snake stays under its cloth. The box rocked a little when students jumped, but it did not tip. Inside, the snake tightened its coil and pulled its head toward the darkest corner. It is not striking the transparent wall. It is not flinging its body around in upset. It simply holds still, focusing on its own feeling of shelter. Stillness, in your people's memory, often belongs to hunters waiting. A motionless shape in grass meant danger. A shadow not moving in the branches often meant something ready to drop. Yet the stillness here feels different. There is no fixed, forward stare. No build of tense, ready muscles. This is the stillness of hiding, not ambush. The cat, for a brief moment, shows claws. As the noise cracks, its back arches. Its tail fluffs. Tiny hooks of clear claw peek through soft fur. It makes a short sound, sharp and bright. Then its human's hand lands, flat and calm, along its side, not grabbing, just contact. The hand moves in slow strokes, the same length each time. The cat's back slowly lowers. Its claws slide back into their sheath. It turns in a tight circle and lands again in the human's lap. Paws tucked under its body. The purr takes a few breaths to return, but when it does, it is even and strong. In those seconds, you see a pattern. Loud sound, startle, human cue, animal choosing down, not up, moving into smaller shapes, lowering bodies, avoiding hard eye contact. There is a story here that your body has never been told, that a trained predator, when startled, has practiced responses that make them safer to be near, not more dangerous. Campus security has not arrived yet. They have been alerted by the shift in class vitals and the sound of the alarm chimes. They are on their way, but there is a short gap where the only responders in the room are Dr. Vell, the students, the humans, and their animals. Dr. Vell raises both arms in a clear, slow gesture. It is not a command. It is a signal of stillness your kind understands from early school days. They speak in a steady tone, loud enough to carry, but without any sharp edge. Inhale, they say, in the shared language. Exhale even longer. They model it, chest rising, then falling twice as slow. Some students mirror the movement almost without knowing. Others just stare. But in several species, a long exhale triggers a reflex in the body that says, "Safe is coming." Muscles loosen by tiny amounts. Atlas human joins in without waiting for permission. They sit down fully on the floor beside their dog, legs crossed. They take a breath big enough that their shoulders lift, then let it go in a strong, steady stream. Atlas watches them. When they repeat it, Atlas' own ribs seem to follow. He releases a long breath through his nose, then gives a small, relaxed yawn. The sight hits you strangely. You have always thought of jaws as things that close. Seeing a wide mouth open in a slow, harmless yawn rewrites that just a little. Inside that mouth is power. But the shape of the movement speaks of sleepiness, not strike. Across the room, the human with the snake places a flat palm on the top of the habitat box. They do not tap, they do not shake. They rest their hand there with a stable weight, like a lid that will not slip. They hum a low note, steady in pitch. The snake cannot hear in air the way mammals do, but it can feel vibration through surfaces. The even, constant hum says, in the language of bodies, no sudden change. The snake shifts once and then goes still again. The cat's human keeps their strokes the same, not speeding up in their own anxiety. That alone seems to help the cat return to calm more quickly. Predictable touch, not frantic grab. Even as students still twitch and glance, this little island of routine builds itself in the center of the room. You feel your own breathing start to match these longer cycles. In through the upper chest, out through the lower ribs. You do not plan this. It happens because nervous systems near each other share rhythms and paths no idea. You have felt this in a different way when your own group crowded together in a shelter during a storm, everyone starting to breathe in similar timing. Here, it is happening around predators. You stay half-crouched, legs ready to move, but the urge to run has eased a fraction. Your eyes leave the door and come back to Atlas. You notice details you missed in your first wave of fear. The soft skin around his eyes, the way his ears tilt slightly back. Not forward, signaling care, not challenged. The slow wave of his tail low, almost brushing the floor. You hear two Keth nearby speaking in hushed tones. Why does it lie down? One asks, crest still half flared. The human told it to. The other answers, or asked it to. I cannot tell the difference. Why would it listen? The first asks. The second tilts their head, watching Atlas, human rest, a hand gently on the dog's back. Maybe because it trusts that nothing bad happens when it does. The idea circles your thoughts like a soft ring. Trust. Trust strong enough that a predator will lower itself during chaos. Trust strong enough that prey will slowly choose not to run when every instinct screams. Dr. Jean screams. Dr. Jean squeams. Dr. Jean, Vel checks the room again. They see that most bodies have moved out of the highest panic zone. Legs have unlocked. Feathers lower. Tails uncoil slightly. Their voice softens a little as they speak. This is fear, they say. Old fear. It rises fast, but we are in a room built for safety. No attack has happened. Notice the animals. Notice what they are doing with their bodies. It feels strange to shift your gaze from exits back to jaws, but you do. Atlas has not moved closer to any student without being asked. The line on his chest stays slack, not tight. His head rests almost flat. He blinks in slow, lazy patterns. If he wanted to lunge, he would not be in that position. He would have to gather all 4 legs under him again, and you know from motion studies that this takes time. The snake has made itself as small as possible. It hides instead of striking. Its body language, when you look with new eyes, matches your own people's behavior when startled. Find shadow. Make yourself less seen. Wait. The cat sits in perfect loaf shape. Paws hidden. Claws withdrawn. Tail tip still. Its eyes half close. It looks, to your surprise, almost vulnerable. Soft belly not entirely hidden. Throat exposed where it could tuck instead. The contrast between your body's alarm and their physical calm is almost painful. Your brain has to stretch to hold both at once. But in that stretch, something starts to change. You are not calm, not yet, but you are not fully ruled by panic either. The door opens. Campus security arrives. At last, they move with careful steps, trained for multi-species spaces. They take in raised feathers, tight muscles, the slight scent of fear, sweat in the air. Their gazes land on Atlas, the snake's box, and the cat. You watch one of them tense, just a little, out of old habit. Then they see what you now see. A dog lying down, head on paws, a snake hidden in a corner, still as coiled stone. A cat purring in a human's lap, eyes soft. Humans breathing slow and even on purpose, guiding their bodies out of their own brief startles, so they do not add to the chaos. Security's posture loosens. Their leader speaks with Dr. Val in low tones. Your hearing picks up fragments about no breach, startle only, animals under handler control. They offer to clear the room. Dr. Val glances over the students, sees that many have already begun to settle, and asks for a small delay. Let us stay, they say. If everyone feels able, this is a teaching moment. If we can move through it slowly, you could leave, you know that. You could walk out right now, find a quiet restroom, sit with your back against soft walls, and let your body shake until the last of the adrenaline fades. Part of you wants that more than anything. But another part, a small, bright, stubborn part, stays. You want to understand humans. You came here for that. And somehow, understanding humans now feels tied to understanding why their predators do not match your inner rules. Why a dog would lie down instead of chase. Why a snake would hide instead of strike. Why a cat would press closer to its human when scared, not run away blasting claws at everyone. You lower yourself slowly back onto your seat. Your legs still tremble. Your hands still feel a little numb, but you manage it. You notice Atlas' ears flick once in your direction. Then, settle. He has marked your movement, but he is not tracking you like prey. He is simply aware. The panic has not vanished from the room. It has thinned into something else. Something like wary, watching. Instinct still hums beneath your skin, ready to flare if another sharp noise comes. Yet now, in that hum there is a new image, faint, but there. A predator choosing stillness because a human asked, and because, deep inside, the predators learned to feel safe doing so. You do not know it yet, But this mismatch between what your ancestors trained your nerves to expect and what you are now seeing will stay with you long after this class ends. It is the first crack in a very old story about teeth. The room feels different now. Fear still hangs in the air, but it is thinner, more like a sharp smell after a storm. Than a choking cloud, students sit again. Though many choose edges and corners, some keep their feet tucked under them, ready to spring. Others sit very straight, as if their spines alone are holding them together. The animals stay calm. Atlas lies where he was, chin on paws, line loose across his back. The snake rests under its cloth, tail, tip barely showing, still and hidden. The cat has changed position once, stretching long, then folding back into a compact loaf on its human's lap. Dr. Bell thanks campus security. They agree to remain near the door, but not crowd the room. Their presence is a promise that you can leave if you must, and that help stands close if anything changes. That promise helps more than you expected. Dr. Val turns back to the class. Everyone, they say, we just had a real test of our bodies. Oldest alarms. No danger came from the animals. Our fear rose from inside us. This is exactly what today is about. You swallow. Your throat feels dry. Dr. Vel gestures toward the humans. Our human students have kindly agreed not only to show their companion animals, but also to explain how their species lives with predators. As partners, we will treat this as a shared lesson now. If at any point anyone needs a pause, say so, and we will stop. A hand lifts, slow but steady. It belongs to the human sitting beside Atlas. Their name, you remember, is Jonah. They have short dark hair and a soft-lined face that looks older than most students. Atlas' line is wrapped around their wrist in a loose loop, not pulled tight. Jonah speaks in the shared language. Voice clear. Words simple. I am glad we did not stop, they say. What just happened is exactly why I wanted to bring Atlas. Fear is not wrong. It kept your ancestors alive. It kept mine alive too. But humans learned a different way to live with predators. I would like to show you that. They rest a hand lightly on Atlas' neck. This is Atlas, Jonah says. He is a dog. He is also my service animal. That means he has special training to help my nervous system stay steady when my body starts to panic. You blink at that. A predator helps your fear? A Keth student blurts. Their crest flicks, half amusement, half disbelief. Jonah smiles, not offended. Yes, but to explain that, I need to talk about domestication first. Dr. Expe. Val, may I? They motion as if giving a small talk. Dr. Val nods and steps back. The room's focus shifts around Jonah and Atlas. Like a lens turning, you feel your own attention pull forward despite the part of you that still wants distance. Once, Jonah says, dogs were wolves. Wild hunters. They lived in packs. They chased prey, tore it apart, ate it fast before larger predators could take it. Your shoulders tighten. You can see it in your mind. long legs, eyes glowing in low light, teeth deep in soft flesh. Your skin prickles, but Jonah continues. Some wolves began to live near humans. Maybe they ate leftover meat from our kills. Maybe they warned us when other predators came close. Maybe some of them were less afraid of us than others. The calmest, most curious wolves got the most food and safety from humans. The most aggressive ones were chased away or killed. They run fingers slowly along atlas fur as they speak. Over many, many generations, humans chose which dogs to let breed. We chose the ones who liked us, who could learn our signals. The dogs in turn chose us too. In a way, those who were better at reading human faces and bodies got more care, so both of our species changed together. That is coevolution. We did not just shape them, they shaped us. A Serathi student lifts two of their thin arms. "Shaped you how?" they asked. Their voice trembles, but curiosity pushes past. Humans who could understand dogs, signals, Jonah says, who could tell the difference between play growls and real warning growls, kept their families safer. We learned to read ears, tails, eye shapes. Our brains got better at seeing small changes in body language. Dogs, in turn, got better at reading the size of our pupils, the tilt of our mouths, the sharpness of our breath. They give a small laugh. We look into each other's faces a lot. That is unusual in earth animals. It is something dogs started doing more because it helped them get what they needed from us. And we rewarded it. So over time, their brains changed, and ours changed too. You stare at Atlas. He lifts his head a little and looks back at you. His eyes are dark and wet. They do not feel like the hard, empty eyes of hunting images stored in your lessons. There is something softer there. He blinks once, slow. Your skin tingles, but you do not look away. So now Jonah says, dogs are not wolves. They can still bite. But many types of dogs have been bred, chosen, for patience, calm, and interest in humans. We call those traits temperament. At last, ancestors were working dogs. They helped pull things, guard fields, and comfort people. When breeders chose which dogs to have puppies, they picked the ones who were gentle and steady, even when scared. How do you know? Someone asks from the far side. How do you know a dog will not just switch? Their hands clench when they say the last word. We do not know with perfect certainty. Jonah says plainly, no living being is perfectly safe all the time. Humans hurt each other sometimes too, even when we do not mean to. But we stack the odds. We choose lines with good records. We train them young with clear rules and gentle methods. We give them routines so their nervous systems stay balanced, and we respect their signals when they say, enough. That is where consent comes in. Consent. The word hangs in the room. You have heard it in your social classes related to touch between intelligent beings. You have not heard it used for animals. Consent means choice, Jonah says. Atlas is not a tool. He is a partner, I do not drag him into places where he cannot cope. I do not force him to let everyone touch him. He tells me, in his way, when he is okay and when he is not. They pat the floor beside them. Atlas, up. Atlas pushes himself to sitting, then stands. He moves with slow care, not rushed. Jonah points to a spot a little in front of them. Atlas, visit. He meets their eyes, holds the look for a long moment, then gives a small lick to his own nose. That is a consent cue. Jonah explains, I am not asking for permission to touch him. He already gave that when he came to my side and leaned on me earlier. Check-in is more like me asking, are you okay with this? How are you feeling? Him looking at me calmly and licking his nose is his way of saying, I see you. I am okay. Atlas steps forward a single pace and stops facing the nearest cluster of students. His tail gives a small wag. His mouth opens a little, tongue out, but not in a pant of distress, more like a soft, easy readiness. He knows visit means, come say hello, but you can leave if you feel overwhelmed, Jonah says. Now I am going to ask him something else. They look right at Atlas' face. Check in. Atlas shifts his gaze from the students back to Jonah. If he turned his head away or yawned very wide or started to pace, those would be signs that he needed a break. Head away, wide yawn, pacing. You file them in your mind. New signals to watch for. Warnings, not of attack, but of a partner needing space. What if he says no? You hear yourself ask, surprising yourself. Your voice shakes but comes out. Jonah looks directly at you, face serious. Then, we stop, they say. You blink. You just stop. Yes, Jonah says. If Atlas tells me he is not okay, and I ignore him, I break his trust, or he might protect himself in a way that scares others. So I listen the first time. It is the same rule I use with my human friends. Your mind tries to picture this. On your homeworld, animals were something to avoid or control. You kept them out of cities. If one came in, you forced it out or killed it. You did not think about whether it wanted something. You might study its habits, but you did not think in terms of consent. Jonah continues. This is not just about kindness. It is also science. This is also science. Nervous systems regulate each other. If I stay calm and listen, his body stays calmer. If he stays calm and close, my body picks up that signal and slows down. We help each other. They touch a device on their wrist. I have an anxiety disorder, they say. Sometimes my heart races and my thoughts spin, even when nothing is wrong. Atlas is trained to notice when my breath changes or when I start to fidget. He will nudge me, put his weight against my legs, or even lead me out of a space. He is reading my body all the time, and I read his. That is our bond. You remember the loud noise from earlier. Atlas had gone down, not up. You now understand. That was partly training, partly choice, and partly trust that Jonah would handle the rest. Dr. Vel steps in gently. Let us hear from the others too. They say, Marisol, would you talk about your cat and how your relationship is different? The human with the cat nods. They sit cross-legged, cat still in their lap. The cat's name, you recall, is Juniper. Cats, Marisol says, are funny. They are predators, but they are also smaller than us, so they feel both big and small at the same time. Humans did not domesticate cats in the same direct way as dogs. Cats kind of moved in. Several students tilt their heads. On Earth we stored grain. Marisol explains grain attracted small rodents. Rodents attracted cats. Cats who could tolerate humans got more easy food and shelter. Humans who tolerated cats got fewer rodents. So again, over many generations, the friendlier, calmer cats did better, but cats still keep more of their wild habits than dogs. They like more control. They do not always do what we ask. Juniper lifts her head as if she knows she is being discussed. Her pupils are narrow now, just small slits. She looks around the room, then gently bumps her head against Marisol's hand. See that? Marisol says. That is her asking. She is saying, pet me here. If I start petting and she flicks her tail hard, or her ears go sideways, or she leans away, that means stop. Our whole relationship is an ongoing negotiation. They stroke Juniper's head. The cat leans in, then shifts, nudges Marisol's hand toward the side of her face. Instead, Marisol follows the nudge. I do not own her. Not really, Marisol says. I care for her. I feed her. I make sure she gets vet checkups. But if she truly did not want to be near me, she would hide, scratch, or leave. The fact that she comes to my lap and purrs is her way of saying, this works for me too. A Sarathi student raises a hand. But she has claws, they say, and teeth. Yes, Marisol says, she has all her natural weapons. That is part of her being a cat. But think about this. I put my soft face near those claws. I fall asleep with her on my chest sometimes. If she decided to, she could hurt me very fast. The trust goes both ways. I trust that she does not want to. She trusts that I will not grab her or hurt her when she is relaxed. Juniper stretches, then steps off Marisol's lap. She moves toward the center of the room with slow, careful steps. Tail up in a loose curve. Several prey students stiffen. Juniper pauses, as if noticing. She sits down, curls her tail around her paws, and looks at them without moving closer. Marisol speaks softly. She is curious, they say. She wants to sniff you, maybe, but she is also polite in her own way. If you reach out, do it slowly, and let her choose if she comes closer. No one moves for a moment. You can feel the battle inside many minds. Curiosity, fear, the pull to stay, the urge to flee. Finally, A small hand rises. It belongs to Sarah Knox, a quiet student from a different prey species, with large, dark eyes and soft, furred ears. "I want to try," Sarah says, voice shaking. Meridian nods. "Okay." Sit still. Hold your hand low. Fingers soft, not stiff. Do not move it toward her. Let her move toward you. Sarah slides down from their seat until they sit on the floor. Their whole body quivers. They extend a hand, palm down, fingers loose. From where you sit, you can see their nails tremble. Juniper watches for a few breaths. Then she stands and walks with a slow, sure glide toward Sarah. She stops just short of touching, leans forward, and sniffs Sarah's fingers. Then she does something that makes several hearts stutter. She rubs the side of her face along Sarah's knuckles. Sarah's breath catches. They look like they might pull away. Then, very gently, they let their hand relax into the motion. Juniper finishes her rub, then steps back and sits again, as if to say, "That is enough for now." "She marked you," Marisol says. "That means she accepts you as safe smell. That is a big thing for a cat." Sarah's eyes shine with a strange mix of fear and pride. Their shoulders lower a little, like a tight band has loosened. The room feels different again. Fear is still there, but now it shares space with something else. Awe, maybe, or respect. The predators have not lost their teeth. They have not become harmless, but they are showing choice after choice that keeps everyone safe. Dr. Choice after choice. Belle turns to the human with the snake. "Sarah," they say, "would you share next?" The snake's human smiles. "Sure," she says. "I am Sarah Knox also by chance, but a different Sarah. This is Kira." She taps the side of the habitat box gently. Under the cloth, the coils shift slightly. Under the cloth, the coils shift slightly. "Many of you seem most afraid of Kira," human Sarah says. "I understand. Her body is very different from yours. But let me explain our bond." She lifts the cloth just enough to show Kira's head. The snake's eyes are dark and shiny, with round pupils. Her tongue flicks in and out, tasting the air. Her body lies in loose curves, not tight, ready spirals. Snakes are not domesticated like dogs, or even cats. Sarah says they have not changed much from their wild forms. They are still predators who use stealth and fast strikes. But that does not mean there is no trust here. It just means the trust looks different. She points to the box. This habitat is safe territory for Kira. It has heat, hiding places, and no sudden hands. When she is in there, I do not reach in and grab her. I support her whole body. I never pull her out when she is shedding or eating. Those are her no times. Sarah's voice stays calm. When I handle her, I watch her body. If she pulls away from my hand, I pause. If she balls tightly, I give her more cover. If she tongue flicks fast and aims her head at my face, that is a warning for me to move back. I never ignore those signs. because that would teach her that she has to escalate to biting to make me listen. Her fingers rest on the lid's edge. I am not going to take her out fully right now, she says, looking around at the tense students. That would be too much for many of you, and maybe for her. But I will show you something. She slowly opens a small side port. Kira's head lifts, tongue flicking toward the new flow of air. Sarah places 2 fingers just inside the port, palm down, not reaching for Kira. She waits. After a slow moment, Kira slides forward, tongue tasting Sarah's skin. She rests her lower jaw on Sarah's fingers, then glides part of her head across them, as if testing weight. Then she pulls back into her coil. She is checking me, like Juniper checked Sarah. Sarah says, she knows my smell. She knows my touch. I know her weight, her tension. Our bond is not about cuddling. It is about understanding and respect. A student near you shudders, but she eats animals. They say, yes. Sarah says simply, she does. I feed her frozen thawed rodents. I do not pretend she is something she is not. That is part of our honesty. She is a predator. I am an omnivore. My species eats plants and animals. We are honest about that too. She meets the student's eyes. The point is not to erase danger. The point is to build trust inside clear truth. Kira will never see me as food because I do not smell like prey and because I move in ways that signal safe, large thing. I will never treat her like a toy because I know she can bite and constrict if she feels threatened. Inside that clear frame, we can both relax. You feel a strange respect for that. On your world, many of your people prefer to forget whole truths. They say predators are gone now, as if erasing them from the story of how you became who you are. Humans are doing something else here. They sit with danger, name it, and still build bonds inside it. Dr. Vell steps forward again. What you have all described, they say, has some shared pieces. Co-evolution for dogs, partial domestication for cats, mostly wild nature for snakes. But in all cases, humans use close attention, clear signals, and respect for limits. They do not only control, they listen. That is the heart of domestication, as partnership, not just mastery. They turn to the class. Let us talk about nervous systems. Many of you felt your hearts race today. Your bodies moved into what we call fight, flight, or freeze. That is your sympathetic nervous system taking over. It prepares you to run or defend. It is fast and strong, but it feels terrible when there is no real attack. You nod slowly. It did feel terrible, like your body had been filled with too much heat and pressure. We also have the parasympathetic nervous system. Vel continues. That is the part that lets you rest, digest food, heal, and connect socially.